Jeff, many people say that the war has made no difference in their lives. How would you respond to somebody who makes that statement?
Well, believe me, the war's made a huge difference in our lives and the lives of thousands of others like us, and it continues to do so. As we began to anticipate Ryan's return from Iraq, my wife could sense some struggle or wrestling in him. Frankly, I dismissed it initially as just an overly sensitive mom doing what moms are supposed to do. I knew he was strong physically and emotionally and well-trained and assumed that would be enough. But after we saw him at the redeployment ceremony and were with him a few hours, I could tell this was going to take some time. What I didn't fully understand was the battle within him from his experiences. But God knew, and He had a plan. You see, several months before, my wife had attended a military ministry, Bridges to Healing seminar, where she learned about the struggles of redeployment and reintegration and met a number of people involved in the effort, including a young couple who had just arrived in the Fort Hood area. Adam and Laura Brown had no military experience and no connection to the Army or Fort Hood, but God had called them and they acted and they were ready. My wife told them that Ryan was redeploying soon and kept their card for future reference, just in case. Several weeks after Ryan got home, our phone rang one morning. It was him, struggling through tears on the other end as he tried to tell me that he had just gotten a call that 2 of the soldiers that he had brought home safely from Iraq had taken their own lives. He couldn't understand it or make any sense of it and was asking us why it had happened. Ryan knew that this was a situation where he needed some help to process, so he asked if we knew anyone. My wife had Adam and Laura Brown's phone number, so we called them. Adam made the rest of the day available to Ryan, and that began a 1.5 year long journey of friendship and support between them. Adam and Laura were willing to make that journey with Ryan, and they did, even though they knew nothing about the military and had no military experience. They poured into him and continue to work tirelessly today doing the same thing and are making a difference in many military lives around them.
You can make a difference just like the Browns did. You don't need specific training, you just have to make yourself available to people. Provide a listening ear or a helping hand. Still wondering how to get started? Here's what others are asking.
Being a little afraid of the fact that I wouldn't know what to do or where to go to or who to talk to get this started.
I've never been in the military and I don't know anybody in the military. Can I really help?
I don't know very many military people for say. I'm sure I know them around me, but they never talk about it, so I don't know if they're military or not.
If I want to connect with vets, I don't know how to do that. Where would I go? How would I connect with them?
You see the veterans come home, you see them welcomed at the airport, and then you don't hear anything else.
I want to help, but I feel like I'm incapable.
So I'm wondering, is there a way already paved for me that I can follow and get started?
It's all of us. We're all here in the United States. This is our country. If we could all help, it would be worth it.
We've gathered a group of military people, active duty, retired, veterans, wives, wounded warriors, and parents of warriors who have personal experience with these issues. Let's hear what they have to say.
There is no one out there strong enough to be able to handle my experience, or at least my telling of my experience. I was blown away though. There were so many people that came out that wanted to help. It was like that first little glimmer of hope. There are people that do care, that aren't in the military, have no connection to the military at all.
We went up for prayer at church one afternoon after service and met a couple that prayed over us, and we were just hanging by a thread. Our marriage was having a really, really difficult time, and as we turned to leave, they called us back and just felt our pain and said, "We want to walk down this journey with you."
My church embraced the military. And so when I felt the embracing of, for me deploying, or my life group, you know, who I studied with every weekend, they embraced us and they just lifted us up. I mean, day in, day out, and my experience with that is I felt equipped to go in. Whenever I came home, I felt equipped to come home.
And then when Ryan deployed, a couple of things. Our pastor was very faithful and always asking what was going on with Ryan, where he was, and praying for us on the spot. And so for that next the next year, he just, whenever he saw us, that was what he did. And it meant the world to us to know that he cared and to pray for us. And then having a couple of friends that just were willing to walk the whole time with us. And if we got calls and they were hard, then I'm sorry. Then friends would just be willing to bear that burden with me and with us. And we had some real lows during that time, and so they were able to just be there for us, and we're so thankful for that.
A friend of mine who our kids were friends in grade school. Yeah, we went to the same church, and he came to me and was asking me about PTSD because his son was having some negative experiences with that, and he knew that I had some experience with PTSD.
Even the day after Scott crashed, my good friend, and she was the chaplain's wife, she drove an hour and a half just to come stay with me.
My mother had given me a Bible 2 years before that as a birthday gift, and I just one day woke up and thought to myself, I'm going to read my Bible today. And I knew where it was at, and I went upstairs in my apartment and grabbed my Bible and blew the dust off of it. And
weren't really hooked up with the church specifically, and I wasn't really interested in it, but we were invited to come for an Easter service.
Yes, we definitely had support from our church, people in the community, work, family, definitely were very supportive and helping us with the healing. Like the people, you know, that you didn't even expect, that they were there praying for you and your son, giving you that spiritual guidance and uplifting that you need. Like I said, they weren't just military, they were also our community neighbors that we had never met, how they all came together.
And also it brought our church together more closely as Christians.
The vast majority of comments we receive are, I want to do something, but how do I get started? If you live near a military community, there are unique opportunities for you. You can, for example, see the military around you because they're usually in uniform. But others of you may be thinking, we don't have any military installations in the area. Where do I go? Did you know that over 52% of those who serve in the recent wars in Afghanistan and Iraq are National Guardsmen and Reservists? These men and women generally don't live on or near military bases, but in cities and towns all across America. When they're deployed, their families live in your neighborhoods. For months at a time, they're functioning like a single-parent family. You are surrounded by Vietnam veterans, World War II and Korean War veterans, and veterans of other conflicts. You may not live in a military area, but you don't have to go far to find military people you can serve. You may even find them on street corners. Veterans make up 11% of our total population, but more than 30% of the homeless population, and that percentage increases dramatically with age. Spend some time in prayer asking God to help you see the opportunities to serve the military around you. Let's take 5. Pause the video and take 5 minutes to reflect on and discuss the questions and concerns that brought you to this seminar. Then brainstorm about your local area and the possible connections you can make to military personnel or veterans. Your discussion may have raised more questions than we answered. If so, that's okay. If by the end of the seminar you still have these concerns or questions, we encourage you to check out the information located on our website. If you're with a group, set a time to meet together to explore these ideas further.